What does it look like, realistically speaking, to work from home? Where do you work? How do you work? Today, I'm going to take you a little behind the scenes and show you a little bit of my daily routine for what it looks like working from home. There are a lot of days, just like today, where I'm working from home on my laptop in my bed. I hope, if anything, this video just encourages you that you get to build your ideal lifestyle however it works for you. You want the space in your home to work for you. That's the whole goal. That's about everything that I believe in is that we design the way that we're going to live our lives. And that's our space, our physical space, and the routines that we set for ourselves, that they help us to thrive. They help us to be the most productive and efficient and just enjoyable life that we can possibly have so we can achieve our dreams working from home, living the laptop lifestyle in whatever way makes sense for you. I invested in a good mattress. I invest in good bedding. I like my bed to be comfortable for the, 7, 8 hours I'm asleep, but also because I like to sit in my space. I decorate the way I want. I invest in good linens on my bed. Like this really matters. The other thing I would say about working from home is it's got to be about your comfort level for how you can get the most done. I don't work from home in my bed all the time, but it's always dependent on how I feel. I take all my blankets or my pillow or something. I have to have my right arm like completely supported. It cannot feel like it's like sinking down. So it doesn't matter where I'm sitting. I always am going to kind of look like a little bit of a mess. I have a big chair in my living room that I like to sit in. I have a pillow or a blanket and then the armrest as well. At my office, I have an armrest, obviously, on my chair, but I'm always adjusting because this arm, just as I've aged, it just needs to be fully supported to be able to type. My left arm, not as much because it's a supporting arm. This is my dominant arm. But I wonder if, like, do you feel that? Do you ever feel that way when you're typing, when you're creating, like that your arm has to be fully supported so it doesn't fatigue? I also have a home office, like a whole entire room that is my space for my office. However, it doesn't have doors. And so I can't completely shut off when other people are in the space. So sometimes I will also gravitate back to my bedroom where I can close the door and I can feel more self contained. My bedroom is beautiful in that 3 of the 4 walls are completely detached from the rest of the house, so it minimizes the amount of noise that I have to hear from everyone else in the rest of the house. I would also say that as I move through my day, I am moving to different spaces in the house dependent on my mood based on the lighting. So my bedroom faces both east and south, and so I like to be up here when the sun is first coming up. Like I can see beautiful sunrises looking out of my window in the morning. And then as the sun progresses, like it's just a comfortable place to be. I just have to let you know that there is a version of me right now screaming inside of me for who I used to be at another stage of my life when I had to be so polished and so put together to show up and present, whether that was in person or on camera. Like, yeah, the whole fact that I just show up and let my hair be how it is. I'm not made up and put together. I'm literally showing you raw footage of me sitting in my bedroom. Like, wow, that's I think is evolution. We're not going to say that anything else but something positive there because the fact that I can release the judgment for what I think you might be thinking, just to be authentic and relational with you, just to have this candid conversation. And because of like you had come over and you were a friend, like you would see me for in all of this. Yes. Um, and I would be like, oh, where have I been working all day? I've been working in my bed today. It's just super comfortable. I mean, isn't that the whole reason we are given a laptop? I can remember when there was a time when people were promoting the laptop lifestyle and like talking about going remote. And I was moving states at the time. And so when I told them I was moving states, they immediately were like, bye bye. And I was like, wait, why does it have to be bye bye? Why can't we have remote work? But this is before remote work was really a big thing. And so because they trusted me, they were willing to try it out. But all that to say, like times were so different. And I remember when people were talking about the laptop lifestyle and they were talking about taking your laptop like to the beach and going in places and being able to work anywhere you want and travel the world. And although I think there are some people who have enjoyed that, I've also heard over time people going, well, that was selling a lie because who wants to work at the beach? And like there's such a glare on your computer screen. And I get it. And so that's why I think using my laptop, working out from home, in my lab, in my comfortable loungewear with no bra on, my hair however it's going to be because I'm not necessarily doing anything that people have to see me. Like that to me is the ultimate lifestyle. That is the laptop life that I craved. And just even having the intimacy, the privacy to be able to be productive from home, from my bed without anybody else having to be in my space is also the ultimate luxury. And so that's all I'm sharing is that is what works for me. This is what brings me joy and lights me up. And I love it. I absolutely love it. In the opening, I said that I would share an example of my routine for how I work. I have found the times that I work the best. I have found the ways that I work the best. And to me, that's what the luxury of being able to work from home is all about. That you get to work when your brain is the most active, the most clear, the most focused, like whatever works for you. I get very scattered with lots of people talking, lots of activity, other things going on. And it seems like the older I get, the more challenging that becomes. And I've heard that there are women who go into menopause and like they can't even handle like hearing somebody breathe. They're put off by scents, they're put off by the whole vibes. Like there's lots of things, temperature. Um, I don't feel like I'm there yet. Maybe I won't get there. I don't know what it's going to look like as far as what that experience is going to be. But all I can say is that when I hear people and there's lots of distractions, it takes my brain in a different direction. And I can't even remember how I could be a student and how I could be a worker for all the years that I did inside of public spaces with lots of things going on. This morning, I woke up entirely naturally, which that is always. I do not set an alarm at all anymore. And this morning, I woke up about 4:30. I get up, empty my bladder, like absolutely must, and wash my face like I'm coming to life, right? And I'm doing all of this in the dark. And then I'm collecting, I always have drinks over here that I have drank water throughout the night. And so I'm picking up my cup, I'm heading downstairs, I'm making my hot tea to soothe my throat. I just wake up with dry throat, even though I have a dehumidifier, even though I wear a mouth guard. It is what it is. So I drink hot tea and then I also drink water to rehydrate, refuel, like all the different things. And then depends, I'm either going to stay downstairs. I have a cozy space in my living room I will sit at, or I will come back upstairs and I will sit in my bedroom because at 4:30 it's still dark out. And none of the windows are open. Everyone's asleep. I don't want lots of activity going on. I just want to come back and be very quiet and be still as I'm waking up because my brain is not fully turned on. I can tell you that. And so I spend about the first hour, like I give myself a whole hour to just wake up. And then I'm sitting with my iPad. So, like this morning, I was here in the bed. I was sitting with my iPad and I was listening to a personal development training and I just listened to that. Some things land, some things don't, because once again, I'm not fully awake. And I'm playing a game that is like a puzzle game. I'm like moving puzzle pieces. And so, once again, this is easy stimulation. It's not too much for my brain, but it's helping me to wake up. That's the whole goal, is easing into it. I spent way too much time in my 20s and part of my 30s is waking up to the rush of an alarm, the adrenaline rush, and jumping in the shower, eating a quick breakfast, rushing out the door, sitting in traffic for 30 minutes, like doing that whole grind, getting to work, still not feeling awake. And like, I just felt like I hated that feeling of how it made me feel, but I didn't know how to get out of that. Now I'm out of it. I want to stay out of it. I was doing some typing this morning about just ideas because I knew I was going to film a video. I wanted to make sure I was clear on what I was going to be talking about. And so I was filming some video. I was writing out some video ideas. And then that turned into moving to my laptop so I could type better. And then I was typing up like my thoughts. And I thought I was going to write write about one thing, which turned into writing about something else. But then I went about and finished the other thing. So I ended up with 2 blogs that are about 1,000 words a piece. And then I did some light editing in ChatGPT with those. So I like to write. I'm a writer. So I write and then I use AI to help me just edit it and, add any enhancements. And then I had my ideas for what I wanted to do on YouTube, what I was going to post on Substack. That's where my blog is, and just developing out. So I got 2 pieces of content done. And then it was about 7:40 and went and woke up 2 of the kids. Went back at about 8:10 because they still hadn't come out of their room. Like, oh, we got distracted. They're still trying to find matching socks, whatever. So deal with them, get them out the door, get puppy on his first morning walk. Like it was like all the things. Then they're off to school. I'm back with the laptop. My oldest is out by this time. And I have another about 2 hours that I was writing and working through some material. There was some research in there this morning. And then I would also say at one point I got fully on distracted. This is the problem with doing research on social media. I got caught up in something and I was like, oh, I think it's been 40 minutes and I don't even know what I've done. So there is that too. My hunger took me back downstairs where I made a late breakfast, fed my child who is at home with me, and then moved from there into coming back up here to prep for the video. And now I'm recording the video about 12 o'clock ish. So that's been pretty much my day. I know that I'm going to go on a walk at 1 o'clock and then I'm going to shower and get ready. And then I'm going to film a different style video and have that on the agenda. So I get 2 videos from today. I got 2 scripts written and I have some other activities I'll take care of this afternoon. I want to get my jump session in because I like to bounce on the rebounder, and I'll have an evening walk. I'll have to make dinner, do some tidying up, and then it will be about time. 7 o'clock will come around, and that's my cutoff time. I don't do things past 7 o'clock and I don't interact with people past 7 o'clock. And that's been that way for years. So I'm back in my room because that's the one space that I can close off from everybody else. And then I am back on that puzzle and I'm listening to usually a fictional book at that point. And then that fictional book is what stays playing as I turn off the lights and go to sleep with a sleep timer because listening to the book is the only way I can quiet my mind. And that puts me to sleep as I end out my day. And that's usually about 8 o'clock to 8:30 in that range. And training myself to have that consistent bedtime helps me to fall asleep within 30 minutes because my sleep timer on my phone is 30 minutes and I'm almost always asleep before that runs out. And then I fall asleep and sleeping through the night and then getting up the next morning because I've built this routine for myself. It's amazing how you can build a routine for yourself and you don't even need an alarm clock. All right, so there's a little bit behind the scenes of what my laptop lifestyle working from home looks like on an average day. Let me know in the comments, like, what does this look like for you? What part of this do you really relate with? What part do you wish you had? What part is it that you're doing in your routine? Any of that, I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for coming and hanging out with me, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.